Hi everyone, welcome to a Lovely Yarn podcast. My name is Amber. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's episode is going to be a regular show and tell episode. I have a finished Olga sweater, a scrappy version that I absolutely love and I cannot wait to show you all. I have 3 works in progress. I have a very exciting crochet along that I'm going to be hosting of one of my favorite crocheted shawl patterns. It's another scrappy project, which I love. And then I'm going to be announcing 2 giveaway winners. So those winners are from the quilt inspired episode, as well as for the sock set that I bought from my local yarn store, which is Moon and Yarn Craft Room. So I'm so glad you joined me today because I'm so excited to talk about all of those things. First off, let's talk about this beautiful scrappy Olga sweater. Now, I did not make this for myself. I made this for my daughter. This is a pattern by Petite Knit, and it is honestly written to be a 2-colored stripe sweater, but my daughter loves colors and she gave me this vision. She gave me a vision for a sweater that she wanted and I ran with it, and I knitted this up so quickly because I had so much fun. So I will show you what it looks like and then I'm going to talk about it, and I'll probably also put some footage in at some point because it's so much easier. I had her try it on and kind of model it so that I could do some B-roll over while I talk about it. Okay, so this sweater is knit using fingering weight yarn held double with a Surrey silk that was an undyed Surrey silk. So basically I had my basket of minis here and I had her go through and pick out colors that she really liked and was really drawn to, and then she gave me permission to kind of like do whatever I wanted with them as far as stripe width and also like the order of the colors. And so I pretty much stuck with a color scheme, which was a very colorful color scheme, but I used the same minis throughout the body and then also throughout the sleeves, although I did not match the sleeves up as far as like what color I used when. I knit this on size 6. US 6, which I think is a 4.0 millimeter needle. But then I accidentally, when I cast on for the sleeves at the end, I had used a size US 4, which what is that in millimeters? I'm not sure what that is in millimeters. But I had used a US 4 to do the ribbing because I did the neck ribbing before I cast on the sleeves, or before I started the sleeves. And I forgot to switch back to the size 4 millimeter, the US 6. So I accidentally knitted the first whole sleeve on a US 4. And so I just then replicated that and did the same on the second sleeve. I realized it when I got down to the ribbing on the cuff, and I'm like, oh, I'm using the US 4. I don't need to switch to it. And then I looked at my stitches. I'm like, yeah, they're definitely tighter. The gauge is definitely smaller on the sleeve than it is in the rest of the body, but it is okay. It worked out fine. She wanted a balloon sleeve. The Petite Knit pattern for this sweater is actually written. I have Surrey in my nose. It's a very, can you see I don't know if you can see the halo on this, but the Surrey gives a really nice halo. Anyway, she includes decreases in the sleeves, but my daughter wanted the nice balloon sleeve, so I didn't decrease at all until I got down to the very bottom, and then I decreased I went from 82, I think I had 82 stitches on my needle, and I decreased down to 52. And just evenly distributed those decreases, and that gave a pulled in sleeve, which gave the nice little balloon sleeve. So I knit her a size medium in this, and I had gotten gauge with the size US 6 and my yarn choices, which was basically, a fingering plus a fingering, because I feel like the Surrey is a little bit thicker than a mohair, silk mohair. So I feel like I have a DK weight gauge, maybe even a worsted, light worsted maybe. But This pattern was so much fun, and I cannot wait to cast on one for myself, which I talked about in my last episode when I discussed this sweater. And it was so easy to understand. I think that this would be a really good beginner sweater. It's not raglan, so you are going to you'll knit the back first. Yes, you knit the back first, and then including short row shaping, and then you go and you pick up for the shoulders, and then you eventually do join in the round. So as long as you're an adventurous beginner and you maybe have had like a raglan sweater under your belt, or you don't mind, I mean, it was super easy. It was a very easy sweater to knit. I didn't feel confused at all. Now, I've been knitting for a long time, but I do remember the first time I knit a petite knit pattern, I knit the no frills pullover, and I got very confused. And I was not a new knitter at that point either, but I got a little bit confused during the short row shaping because I felt like the wording, how she had worded things, was a little bit confusing, and I felt like it could be confusing to somebody who was knitting a sweater and doing short rows for the first time. I did not feel that way at all with this one. So as I said, I knit the size medium. Lily is very petite, so she technically, if I would have went by her sizing and measurements, I would have knit the smallest size for her, but she wanted it to be oversized and roomy and kind of like boxy and slightly cropped. And so I just basically knit this, and I had her try it on as I was working on it. And that way I was able to customize it to exactly what she wanted. She is super happy. I finished this a couple of weeks ago. I did not make her wait to wear it until I filmed this because I felt like that was so mean. And I wanted her to be able to wear it while we're still having like winter weather. I wanted her to enjoy it a little bit for this season. But this was definitely a success. I'm definitely gonna make one for myself. I'll probably still knit mine at the size medium because I don't want an overly boxy, oversized. I mean, I definitely like positive ease for sure. I'm not a negative ease person when it comes to my hand knits, but I think that I don't want it quite as oversized. I tried this on and it definitely fits me. It's a little bit more cropped also. I will make mine longer, but yeah, this was a really fun pattern. Loved it a lot. And of course, knitting Scrappy makes it really fun because I love Scrappy knitting. And so I look forward to making this pattern again. Now we're gonna shift into my works in progress, and I have 3 of them. The first one is a small shawl that I am working on. I'm actually working on this because I've been doing a little bit of research, and next week I'm planning on releasing a special episode about this. The episode's going to be focused on 15 free small scarves or like neckerchief patterns. I just released a single skein episode, was it last week? And you guys really love when I do those kind of episodes. And I had a lot of people in the comments saying, oh, I love smaller scarves and I love like neckerchiefs and stuff like that. And I had already been thinking that I do as well. So I'd already been thinking, oh, what a great like pattern roundup video. So I have that actually all researched, all ready to go, just need to film it. But I wanted to maybe cast on a couple of those free patterns. The thing is with free patterns is you never know for sure. Even with paid patterns, there is sometimes, you know, people will find mistakes, but I feel like when you have a free pattern, those aren't as likely to have been test knitted or definitely not tech edited, because that's something you have to pay for. And so that is completely fair, because if you're writing a pattern and putting it out there for the world and you're not expecting payment for it, then I don't think you should invest in tech editing, or even, you know, that's your prerogative. It's a free pattern. So I wanted to give a couple of them a try, and I have cast on the first one and I'm pretty far into it. And this pattern is called An Italian Scarf by an Italian knitter. And oh, I love it. Wait, am I showing it? Oh, yeah. Hold on. Yes, that's the right side. Okay. I had to mark my right side with this cute little kitty marker. Where's it at? Look how cute. I'm still learning my new camera and where to look and all that. But this is definitely a little scarf or neckerchief that I will definitely wear. It's in this really pretty purple, and I'm achieving this by holding 2 different yarns together. So when I went to Moon and Yarn Craft Room several weeks back. I bought Menace del Uruguay yarn that was being discontinued. It's the Serena base, and I bought it in 2 different colors to make a different, I actually wanted to make the Popple bandana, and I did cast that on and I started it, and I quickly realized that I really think that that bandana is best for an animal fiber and not a plant fiber. Just the way it's knit, I just felt like it would look better with animal fiber yarn rather than plant, and this is plant-based. Gosh, I don't have the tag with me, but I will put the name of this yarn down below so that you can see what I'm talking about in like the fiber content. But it is a fingering weight. It's this really pretty purple color. Okay, so it actually does have animal fiber in it. It has a baby alpaca, and then it's also Pima cotton. And let me see the ratios of each. So it's 60% baby alpaca and 40% Pima cotton. But it's just, I think it's not grippy at all. And the Popple shawl, or the Popple shawlette or whatever, scarf or whatever it is, I felt like it would just benefit from a more grabby yarn. And so I frogged it. Let me show you the tag for this. So this color is called Boysenberry. And this was the other color that I had bought to knit that shawl in. And this one is called Curry. And I was gonna hold it together because I thought that would make really fun colors, but it's okay because this is turning out, I love this purple, and I'm achieving this by knitting the Serena yarn held double with Knitting for Olive silk mohair. So this is Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair, which is my favorite mohair. And this is artichoke purple, this color. So these two together, and this is quite bright, but it's softening it. So let me get a zoom here, see how it's giving it. It's just softening the purple. And of course you're getting that really nice mohair halo. It's gonna be nice and warm and just lovely. I'm really happy with this. The pattern is so super easy, and this is definitely going to be a scarflet that I absolutely love the shape of. So I will be making more of these, I am pretty certain. I'm the type of knitter that once I find a pattern I really like, I like to make multiples of it in different colors, because I'm like, I really like this pattern and it works well for what I want. So let's go with it. But that's all I'm gonna say about this right now. I'm trying to get this quickly worked up, and then I have another little shawlette that I wanna cast on, and I have yarn for that, and I think it's gonna be beautiful. And it's also another pattern that I'm going to be featuring in that shawlette neck kerchief. I'm still trying to come up with a name for that episode. But if that sounds like something that's interested to you, stay tuned. Next Saturday, I should be releasing that. Then I have a pair of birthday socks for my hubby. His birthday is in April, and I feel very proud of myself because I cast these on at the beginning of March or the end of February. So usually I'm like, oh, it's birthday month, we need to get going on these socks. And then I feel stressed. But maybe that is better though, because then I'm actually like really pushed to work on them, and I'm not feeling that pressure, so I'm not really pushing myself to work on these. But this pattern is just I don't have a pattern actually. It's from my head, because it's DK weight yarn. The yarn I'm using is Sweet Mountain Crafts, and it is From the Nest sock set. So this is a DK weight sock yarn, so it's 75% merino and 25% nylon. And this is hand dyed in Cody, Wyoming. So it's really beautiful. I love these colors. We've got a little bit of micro striping going on in places, but it's not like a consistent striping yarn. And then this is the contrast that came with the set. So this is the set. This is what the set looks like in the skein, and then this is what it looks like knit up. Now I did buy this yarn, I would say last year, but I probably bought it the year before that. I get, like, time flies, so I always lose track. I don't know if she currently has this in stock, but I will link her web shop down below so you can check it out. And what I did was just I cast on 56 on a US 2. 56 stitches on a US 2. Did 2x2 ribbing for 15 rounds. And then I realized when I started the stockinette portion that was too big. It was gonna be too big in circumference for my husband. So I ended up decreasing by 4 stitches. So I went down to 52 stitches, and that's what I'm knitting this in. I really need to take note. Every time I knit DK weight socks, because I don't knit them very often, I always question how many to cast on. And this is a repeat. This happens every time, literally. So then I get on the internet and I start looking at patterns, and I start asking, like, just Googling, what size should I cast on for a man or for like whoever I'm knitting them for. And then I always end up going by what it says, but it's too much. It's just, I don't know why that is. And I also always use a smaller needle. So but it happens every time. It's probably happened 4 times. So I need to write this down. I haven't written it in my journal yet, which is ridiculous. I need to write that when I'm doing a pair of DK weight socks for my husband, I need to cast on 52 stitches. I feel like I always cast on 56. 52 is going to be better. And I'll just do my regular hilt flap and gusset, all of that. You know, nothing fancy with these, but I think he is really going to like them. I love the colors. Okay, last project I want to talk about is my Smokeshow Vest, and this is by Thea Coleman. And I've made a lot of progress on this. This is an all over cable button down vest. I'm not liking the yarn color, which is making me sad. I thought it would be a nice neutral, but it's definitely more of a warm. It looks way more warm in person. I don't know. It might be okay. I don't know. But anyway, this is what I've got. So the last time I podcasted, see that little progress keeper? That was all the further I'd gotten. So I've done all of this in the last, has it been 2 weeks since I've talked to you guys about this project? I think it has. So I'm feeling rather pleased about that. I have been working on this quite a bit though. Actually, I was working on this all the time. Anytime I was sitting down and knitting, I was working on this. And then my little sock has been my throw in my bag when I go out, and because it's just such mindless knitting. And then I cast on this little thing, and this has been taking up my time now. So I haven't worked on this for the last 3 days. I did not like cables when I started this, but now I'm actually getting into the rhythm of it, and I'm enjoying doing the cables. So that is making me really happy. Let me see here. So you're basically starting from the bottom with ribbing, and you're working your way up, and you're adding the button band as you go, including the buttonholes. She recommends using Ysolda Teague's method of applying 1 row buttonholes. I found it so confusing. I kept getting confused. So I've been using the Blue Mouse, her 1 row buttonhole. I will link that video down below. I found that way easier for my head and my mind to process and to do and to actually execute. So I've just been using that. But Thea Coleman does recommend the Ysolda Teague's way in her pattern. Like, she gives you that little note. For some reason, it was not clicking with my brain, so I'm using that other tutorial. Basically, I have one more set. Hold on here. Wait, 1, 2, 3. I'm almost ready to place my 4th buttonhole, and then I will be starting the V-neck shaping for this. And so I'm getting really close to being done on this. Now, I did mention that I wasn't sure that I liked the color, and here is why. So this is Pearl Soho Hedgerow yarn. And I have more of this yarn in a different color to make a cardigan. So it's not that I don't like this yarn, it's the color. The color name is Heirloom White, and this is, I would say, it's like a DK weight yarn. It's 93% merino, 3.5% cashmere, and 3.5% mulberry silk. It's kind of nebby, so it does work up a little bit unevenly. Let me zoom in here. But I think it's still a nice yarn for like cables. And it has little flecks. Let me find some flecks and see if I can, okay. I don't know if you can see any of those flecks. It has little yellow and blue flecks in it. It probably is not picking up on camera. But even though it has like the blue in it, the overall hue of this yarn definitely feels more warm toned. When I looked at it online, I thought it just looked like a really neutral off-white color. And maybe, I mean, it definitely looks more neutral on camera than it does when I'm looking at it in real life. But I was knitting it and I was like, as the fabric was growing, I was thinking, oh my gosh, this looks a little too warm toned for me because I'm a cool toned person. But I'm just gonna keep going with it at this point. It's still, I don't know. I planned on wearing this over like my button down shirts, collared shirts, or even something like this. This is just like a turtleneck. So I'm not going to not wear it because it's warm toned. I've become way more aware of how the colors I wear affect the way I feel. And so I do notice that I look brighter in cooler toned clothing and fabrics, which makes sense because I have cool undertones. So like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter in the scheme of life, but it's been fun to be like, oh, you know, that color is in my color scheme. That's why I feel better when I wear it than a color that is not. So we're going to see. The verdict is still out on this. One thing I would say to do, and I'm pretty sure she recommends this in the pattern, but I have little stitch markers on the cable repeat. Just that has really helped. I don't always do that, but I did with this because I haven't knit a ton of cables. Like that's probably one of those knitting things that cables are okay. I don't overly enjoy cables. I am enjoying them more since doing this, working on this vest. But I did want to have those little place markers in place just to keep me on track. And I've been really thankful that I've actually done that. I don't know that there's anything else to say about this. I'm very pleased with my progress on this and how much I've gotten done. And I think this will be good for spring because it's just gonna be a vest. And so I can layer it. And I'm hoping that it's gonna be big enough, and I think it will be big enough, like once it's blocked, for me to actually wear buttoned. That's how I want to wear it buttoned up. And so I'm hoping that that works out with all of my, my measurements and stuff and the math I did to figure out which size to cast on. And what size did I cast on, actually, come to think of it? Let me look here and see if I can tell real quickly, because I didn't take notes on this one, which was ridiculous. Okay, so I think I cast on the size 3, which would be a 43.5 finished bust circumference. That would make sense that I would, but without counting my stitches and looking, because I didn't make any notes on my pattern, but I'm pretty sure that was what I cast on. I have 2 things left that I want to talk about. First, I want to talk about the giveaway winners. I'm going to do that at the end. First, I want to talk about a crochet along that I am hosting. Okay, so I'm asking for grace from you all and just to bear with me during this crochet along, because I've only ever hosted one other make along, and it was I co-hosted it with the wonderful ladies of the Fruitful Hands Knitting Podcast, and that was a couple of years ago. We did a ranunculus knit along. However, there's this Granny Stripe shawl pattern that I absolutely love. This is a pattern by Moran of Crochet Objet, and I have talked about her. I love her. She does very cozy home knitting, crochet, crafty vlogs, and she normally releases them every Saturday. Some of you may be aware, some of you may not be aware. She lives in Israel. It's very tumultuous times everywhere, really, but very much so in Israel. And was it last week, I think, her apartment building, part of a bomb hit her apartment building, and her apartment was damaged. They are all safe, but I was like, I've been praying for her and really thinking about everybody and everyone involved in the craziness that's going on in this world right now. And I was like, what can I do? Because Moan and I also talk online. So I was like, what can I do to help? And so I thought, well, I was already planning on crocheting another one of these Granny Stripe shawls because I loved it. I remember I made this one 2 winters ago and it was like a balm to my soul. So I thought I'm going to make another one and I'm going to pray for Moran and everyone involved in everything that's going on. And then I was like, oh, maybe we could do a crochet along to kind of just show Moran and her family some support and maybe even give them a little bit of a financial boost to help cover, you know, whatever it is they're going to have to be covering for the damage and stuff that they had experienced in their apartment building. And so I decided that I wanted to host a crochet along of this particular pattern. So I was trying to figure out how I want to do this because I'm not really good with being online a lot, so I do want to preface this with that. I'm not good with being online. So this is what I've decided I'm going to do. I am going to use a hashtag for Instagram. So first of all, to participate in this crochet along, all you need to do is buy the pattern, which I will link down below, and then make the scarf, make the shawl. There will be a prize at the end that I will gift some yarn. I'm going to open this up to everyone, international as well. So you know, I don't care where you live, I will send you the prize as long as you're willing to deal with any fees once it gets to your country. So buy the pattern from Moran, and then we're going to crochet this together. And this is my old one. It's very long. It is more of a shallow crescent shawl. I love it. It's so happy. I've been wearing this all winter because it makes me so happy. Every time I wear this out, I am not kidding. Every time I get compliments on this. And I think, you know, people just want color and beauty and happiness in their lives, right? It's the little things sometimes, you know, when you live in a crazy world, you just got to look for the good things. And this cozy wool colorful shawl is one of those little things, but I'm just saying it has brought happiness into my life because it just makes me happy when I wear it. And so yes, buy the shawl pattern. Let's do a crochet along. We're going to run it for 6 weeks and I'm going to start it immediately. Like it starts now and it runs until, let's run it until the very end of April. I feel like that gives us enough time because it's crochet. If you finish it, then you will be eligible to win a yarn prize. I haven't put that together yet, but it will be nice. And all you need to do is use the hashtag ALY Granny Stripe Shawl CAL. I will type that out on the screen and I will also put that down below. The ALY stands for a lovely yarn. I was going to do Granny Stripe Shawl Cal, but that has been used, and so I didn't want to have to figure out that hashtag. So use that hashtag on Instagram and then also tag me so that I can see it. And then also I'm going to open up a Ravelry thread if you would rather use Ravelry. Like not everyone's on Instagram, I understand that. So if you'd rather use Ravelry, you can do that as well. I will do a thread there and I will link that down below, and that's where we can just get in and chat about it. I'm making it a goal to get into that thread once a week so that I can see what everybody's posting, get involved in the chat that's on there, but I'm only going to be able to do it once a week. So that was my plan. And then if you don't use Ravelry, because not everybody can use Ravelry, not everybody has Instagram, and I want to include everyone, then just like email me. When you're done with your shawl, email me. I would like you to complete your shawl though, to be eligible for the prize. So yeah, if you could complete your shawl, and like I said, 6 weeks seems pretty doable for a crocheted pattern, because it's fingering weight, but you wouldn't have to do it in fingering weight. But it is fingering weight, but it goes really fast because crochet is faster than knitting. I've done both. I was a crocheter before a knitter, and I can crochet something way faster than I can knit it. But now I want to show, so let me know if you have any questions. I hope that was clear because like I said, I'm not like this stellar make-along hostess because I've only ever done it one other time, but I just was really like, I want to help Moran and her family, and this is just, I feel like maybe a small way we can help as her fellow makers. And I know a lot of you also follow her because you've told me so in the comments. I want to show you the yarn that I'm going to use, and this is what I've had this yarn and I was planning on using this. You're going to hear some crinkling. Okay, so I have this Color Riot. These are 50-gram skeins of yarn, and I'm going to use this as well as this, like in between. So I'm going to rotate through these colors and put this Farmer's Daughter fiber in between. And this color is called Luck Dragon. It's a sock set. There's actually a mini attached. I don't know if I'll use the mini or not, but I'm definitely going to use this as my main color. So where this one, I just did all random colors. I don't know that I had a single color repeat itself in this one. For this one, I'm going to just rotate through these 4 colors and put this one in between. And maybe I'll save the mini skein to do my scalloped edge because it has a scalloped edge all along the, see? Except for the very top, that's not up there. Okay, so I hope that made sense. Ask me if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. Also in the comments, let me know if you're going to buy the pattern and participate, and maybe you already have the pattern, and that is fine too. You should participate as well. But if you don't have the pattern and you want to make it, let me know down below. Just let me know if you're gonna be involved. Okay, now I want to talk about the giveaway winners before I close up this episode. So I have to announce 2 because the first one was from my quilt inspired patterns, which if you missed that episode and you like quilts, I did a podcast episode where I chose, I forget how many, 15, I think, maybe 20? I don't remember, knitting patterns that actually mimicked quilts, and they were not just blankets. There were all kinds of different patterns on there. So check that out if you're interested. But I did pick a winner from that to receive your quilty pattern of choice. And so the winner for that particular episode, I'm going to put it up here on the screen. And the winner is at Muna_knits. So that's for the quilt inspired pattern. Then when I went to Moon and Yarn Craft Room in Bellevue, PA, I picked up a sock set, and that was a sock set by Pear Maiden. And I asked what your first knitting project was on that episode, and then I was going to pull from those comments. So the comment that was randomly chosen for that episode was by @Janine7362. Again, that'll be up on the screen. And I'm also going to tag both of those users down in my video description, and that way you should get notified by YouTube. What I need you to do is to reach out to me via my email, which is listed in the video description. It is a lovelyyarn@gmail.com. Reach out to me that way so that I can get, for the pattern, I can get your Ravelry name, and then for the winner of the actual sock set, I can get your mailing address so I can get those things sent out to the winners. All right. Thank you guys so much for being with me today. It was a joy to be here with you. And yeah, let me know if you're going to participate in the crochet along. Let me know what you're working on right now in your crafty life. And I will see you next week in that small scarf or neck kerchief episode. So enjoy your knitting and whatever you're doing in your creative crafty life. And I will see you all next time. Goodbye. There's the star of the show, Miss Tilly. Miss Tilly with studio lighting. Everyone loves to see you, Tilly. Yeah, you give me side eye. Oh, you're so funny.